you somehow feel cheated. Perhaps it's the lack of information regarding the protagonist. Perhaps it's Valve's trademark lack of closure. Personally, I think it's that the game can be waltzed through in a day and leave you with no real desire to return. For what you're asked to pay for the title, that's an awfully tiny cake.
I take offence at some of that. Be British? Yes. Have a squiffy accent? Why, yes. Hat? There you go. Let's do this!
Good Mr.JollyJacks appear to have some issues with the new Portal 2 game. Me being a fan of the game and the series, I decided to do a rebuttal video to it myself. Although I don't have the skill, wit or vocal tenacity to pull it off that way, I'm still going to give it a damn good try. With that said, let's have a look at Portal 2. Mr.JollyJacks' main issue with the game appears to be the multiplayer aspects, reading the story about aperture science and some of the background to it. Really, from playing the multiplayer aspects of the game, I found there to be little story that crosses over with the single player elements, although I do think it's setting up for the summer DLC that is coming. Although the Portal game only being a very short 6 hours long sort of game, I can see how losing the massive chunk of multiplayer gaming can be very annoying, considering you pay 30 quid for the game itself. That said, there's still not a lot of story that crosses over, but I can still feel the sting of if you paid the full price and didn't get the full amount of game from it. Although in today's social rich media networking world, and the fact that Mr. JollyJack, you are slightly internet famous, if you can't find anyone else to play with, I can see some issues there. If a large freaky hermit like myself can find someone else to play with, so can you. It can't be that difficult. Okay, yes, I'm nitpicking a bit, but really I'm a fanboy of the game. What do you expect of me? Although with the revealed ending of Portal 2 and the ending in the multiplayer game, I can see how it might actually set up for a third game. So, that being said, let's move on to the next point of contention, which was the story elements of Portal 2. Mr. JollyJacks' main bane of contention appears to be the actual ending of the game, which Valve has never been particularly good at, which he rightly points out, mostly being that they make sequel bait for every single game they do. But really, I believe in Portal 2 we got more of an ending than we did in any of the Half-Life games so far. At the end of Portal 2, Shell is at least released with everything being sort of tied together, although still not a lot of being revealed about Shell or GLaDOS or many of the other things apart from Cave Johnson and everyone down below. Although a lot of information can be gleaned off the official forums themselves, because people pick apart the Portal games in such a way that you would not actually believe. People pick apart the game so they figure out exactly everything in the universe itself and every tiny little detail, including that Shell may possibly be Cave Johnson's daughter. So really any main points that you can complain about the story in the game you can always search out on the internet themselves, although these are always open to wild speculations, and again I can see if you pay 30 quid you actually want an entire story, not to go and hunt it down yourself on the forum. But my feelings are the journey in Portal is such an enjoyable trip that really the ending isn't too bad. It's like having a very good meal then complaining that the dessert wasn't as good. The meal was still damn enjoyable, so was the trip in Portal 2. Really, the game itself made up for the slightly shaky ending. That, and also being one of the members of the glorious PC Master Over race, I can always extend the length of my game and enjoyment with it with various downloads and DLC that I'll get for nothing due to Valve being quite nice about it, and various mods that people will make on the internet. Okay, that's a bit of a crap answer, but seriously, buy on the PC, it's what you should always do. And with that terrible segue, we come on to the final point, which was the length of the game itself. Overall, I found the game to be about 7 hours long, with 3 hours worth of multiplayer, not including going through a game and finding all the secrets and playing various other little bits like that, and listening to all the commentary. Okay, a 10-hour-ish game is quite short, but still we've been looking at games costing far more and getting far less out of the past few months. Look at Homefront, which is a game that was quite bigged up for quite a long time that ended up being about 4 hours long. Then there's crap like Kane and Lynch 2. And again, being the glorious PC Master Over race, I can always extend my gameplay and enjoyment by getting mods and DLC that'll be brought out in time. With all that said, I'm still a fanboy of the series and Valve themselves, so my opinion is always going to be biased slightly in their favour. I can see why Mr. JollyJack is having a few issues with a few aspects of the game, but really it's a good, well done story, and it's incredibly funny and well acted all the way through. I can't complain about it when I've seen some utter piles of shite be released for far more and for far longer. I still believe Portal 2 to be an absolute diamond of a little game, if still a little short, yes I can see that, but I can always go swimming around in the lore and the backstory of things that you can easily search out, which is always pulled apart and brought out by Valve themselves, or put in as little Easter eggs, which I quite like, which you don't get in some games anymore. But in my opinion the game is worth the full 30 quid, although a lot of people who are just in it for the puzzles and the gameplay and not the lore and the backstory will probably won't agree with me. Therefore I suggest you people try try and get it during a sale when it's dirt cheap. Overall, I can see Portal 2 becoming one of those games that I always keep on my hard drive just for every now and then, thinking, oh, I'll just boot it up quick, have a quick play and enjoy the lore and the backstory of it again, swim in the surroundings that is the Aperture Science Laboratories, listening to Cave Johnson prattle on about combustible lemons. Anyway, I'm not really sure how to end this, so I'll just end it how I always do, and then return back to a normal speaking speed, because this is really, really difficult to hold up for a long time. Well, as always, I'm Big Adam, and I do crap rebuttal videos, but at least I have a notepad.